was just so scared. I just slept over at like Zaddy's house. About to go milk a cow. The things you do when you don't want to get copyrighted. Dun da da dun dun da 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 dun da da da. Good morning, my loves. So welcome back to the vlogs. Welcome back, bitch. Why does it look like my hair has parted like a butt cheek? My left butt cheek and my right butt cheek don't want to be friends today. Okay, let's redo my hair. Good morning, my loves. So welcome back to the vlog. So essentially, yesterday's vlog, I don't know if you guys watched it. If you haven't, shame on you. Go watch it right now. Actually, wait. Now I'm conflicted. Should you leave this vlog to go watch that one? What do you think? Just make sure you watch that vlog because yesterday I didn't even do this whole emotional rant in yesterday's vlog because I just didn't want to be that bitch that was like, listen guys, this is me coming full circle for the first time, blah blah blah. Like I just don't feel like people care because Urban Decay, I got invited to an Urban Decay Game of Thrones pre-launch party. So the palette isn't even out yet. I got to go play with the palette. I even got a palette before the palette is even out, guys. Thank you for supporting my transition into the beauty community. Yes, bitch. I'm just kidding. This is full circle for me because Urban Decay, the Naked palette, like the eyeshadow palette, was my first piece of like high-end makeup like in high school. That was like my mother freaking birthday gift. That was my mother freaking Christmas gift. That was like, I was just so freaking excited that like, that was my first non-drugstore product and I was so excited. I used the Naked palette for years and years and years, maybe a little bit too long because I recently learned that like makeup has shelf life or whatever. So this just, it felt so surreal to be invited to an event like that and then to like get a palette before it's even out. So I just wanted to show you guys the palette. I do think that by the time that you guys see this, it'll already be out. This is not hashtag sponsor or anything, okay? I'm just like really excited and wanted to show you guys because you guys know I'm obsessed with Game of Thrones. Holy shit. It's the last season. That makes me so sad. It like makes my heart break. But I'm excited to know who's gonna sit on the Iron Throne. But speaking of Iron Throne, so this is what the palette looks like. Not hashtag spawn, but like, can we just talk about this real quick? Ready? It actually comes in a box. You take it out the box and it's like a booklet. And when you open this tab, oh, oops. Okay, well, you can do that, or you can just like keep it in on the side, you know? Like, how beautiful is that? And it's got Hardhome, it's got Winterfell, it's got King's Landing, Bay of Dragons, and then like all of the smaller shades are like quotes like Free Folk, White Walker, oh my god, winter is here, bitch. This is literally a Game of Thrones, just like druggy dream. So let me show you. They even gave us an inside scoop of, spoiler alert, yes, just watch out, okay? Because HBO and Urban Decay were like, oh my god, like let's give these influencers like a spoiler, right? So when you open this, please don't sue me, HBO. Dun, 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 dun. The event was last night. I get home, we eat dinner, we put up a gigantic mirror. It's like 2 in the morning, and I open up this palette and I realize that I have the perfect picture. And so 2 in the morning, Stephanie who had a drink at the event, is slowly just cutting out an old picture of herself. I posted an Instagram video of it, but like, spoiler alert, this is who wins the throne. Oh my god, she like actually looks good on that though. Doesn't she? Was that saliva on my lip? No, it's just the lighting. I'm excited to play around with this eyeshadow palette. I thought originally that the shades were gonna be a little bit crazy, but these days, you know, I'm feeling risque or whatever, so I'm just gonna put it back into the packaging. Every time I get new like makeup and stuff, I'm like super diligent on like making sure it stays in mint condition for whatever reason. Right now, I'm about to film a giant cheese mukbang. 2 seconds ago, Stephanie, I'm a beauty guru. 3 seconds later, I'm gonna eat 5 packs of cheese ramen and film myself. This is my favorite watery cheese ramen. They have like, you know, if you get the non-watery, like the actual like cheesy cheese ramen, I don't know why, I just like the watery one version. It has this little cheese dude on here. Oh my god, I gotta wear my cheese earrings. This has just turned into like an, what do you call this? An earring organizer. I keep losing the other side of the hand. I don't know why. It's just like becoming a thing. I love clip-on earrings. They're like my favorite thing right now. Also because my ear holes have closed up. My holes are tight. Okay, sorry. My ear holes have closed up. And so I can't really like stick any earrings into my ear because that's how earrings work. And so I've been using clip-ons. But you know, one of the reasons that my ear holes closed up early on is because I never liked wearing earrings. They like make my ear hole, like my ears aren't they're just not fit for earrings. Like they get saggy and then I feel uncomfortable and then I have this fear. I don't know, my mom told me you can't wear big hoops because it's gonna get caught on something and then your ear hole's gonna rip to the bottom and then you're just gonna have like a freaking, I don't know, vagina ear with like the lips flapping around. That's disgusting, but like you get it. Like it's just gonna be really bad for you and it's not gonna be a good look on your ears. And so I think that stuck with me and I never really wore like crazy earrings. And so my ears closed up and now I feel like clip-ons are like so much better than just earrings. They are harder to get your hands on, but when you find some cute clip-ons, I mean, you find some cute clip-ons, and these are the cheese ones that I'm gonna be wearing for today's cheese ramen video. Oh, that's a little cheesy, and this is not a good angle, so this is just today's very quick stay-at-home outfit of the day. Probably gonna change before we go out today. I'm just wearing these button-up high-waisted jeans that make me look like I'm about to go milk a cow, and then this just like oversized dress shirt. Like, ooh, I just slept over at like Zanny's house, you know, and then I just like threw on a shirt. Like, how annoying could you be, Stephanie? Dun 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 dun. She just ate some cheese ramen, and I got cheese ramen juice all over that big sweater that I was wearing. So I just changed into this. This is my Yes style top that a lot of people have been looking at. This Instagram picture, actually, let me put it right here, and everyone was like, oh my god, where'd you get your top? Doesn't it look like artsy fartsy? Modern Museum of Art, who paired that with these earrings, which just make me look like, I don't know, I just feel like I drink like black coffee, cold brew. I don't pronounce Van Gogh. I know it's Van Gogh. Okay, I'm about to go to a donut shop and we're going to K-Town and I have a lot of errands to run before the sun cometh down. And this one I'm just hang drying. Do you guys ever do this? When sometimes my turtlenecks, this is probably really bad for your clothes and it probably disfigures them, but sometimes when my turtlenecks are a little bit too tight on the neck and I feel like I can't breathe, I do this when it's wet. Like I like to like stretch it. That is gonna get me demonetized right there. Also, I mean, shit, if he's not gonna do anything with it, I mean, I'll take it. Don't leave cash laying around. Who does that? Okay, so I just got to the Korean market. I'm alone right now, but I'm gonna try not to get too much Korean stuff because we're literally going to Korea in a week and I feel like everything goes back. Just minimal shopping and then cuts to me like with a cart full of shit. And just like that, we got the goods. They have so many new of those spicy, not spicy, babe. They have so many more of the new cheesy corn dogs. They have some cheddar cheese ones. Oh my gosh, they have so many. I can't wait to show you guys when I get home, but I think there's like 8 of them, 4 in each one. Hopefully they don't crush each other. I asked her and she said it was gonna be all good. My name is Stephanie and today we will be playing the game of how many trips is this gonna take? Honestly, it's not too bad today. Wow, none of the cheese busted, but that's just straight grease. Oh gosh. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Game of meatballs, and it is what, 12:08 in the morning, and my fiance decided to bake up. Yeah, and I have to wake up at 6:30 today. So. Are you really? I have so much editing I have to do. Literally, I have nothing done but like dinner at 12:08. He baked some Korean short ribs, cucumber kimchi, some pickled radish kimchi. We've got some Moscato grapes. We got some tomatoes. And this entire fridge has been stocked to the hells and back, and I'm so excited. This one is a little surprise for a video. Got some fruit. I've been doing this new thing where I put fruit into like just leave it open. That way, like if I'm hungry for a snack, first thing I do is open the fridge and it's like already there. I don't have to open anything, wash anything. It's just like oh, okay, this is my snack, right? So it's like the easiest convenience. So because yes, I got you fresh kimchi from the market today. Let me know if you guys do this. The fruit does go bad quicker, but I tend to eat it before it goes bad now. But here is the exciting part. Honey, look at this drawer of instant food. We've got kimchi jjigae. We've got seaweed soup. We've got beef soup. This comes with everything inside. Yeah, so it's almost as if like your mom made it and then you froze it. And then we've got bibimbap bits. So I got these from the market today, which by the way, the market has been a struggle. Oh my god, remember this in like 3 minutes when I talk about what happened at the market today. Okay, remember these instant soups. I want to try.
Nothing beats fresh kimchi.
Rice. Sweat rib.
Why you look at me like that?
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie Sue. I have a lot of problems. Today we're just gonna start with the main problem. The main problem is currently 12:18 in the motherfucking morning, bitch. It's past midnight and I have to wake up at 6:15 in the motherfucking morning. So I have exactly 6 hours to finish editing some videos, you know, shower or whatever, do a face mask because I'm going to somewhere fancy tomorrow morning, and then like do all of that and then go to sleep and then wake up within like 6 hours. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I haven't thought of, like, sometimes in my brain, I don't think I realize how time works. Like, I'll literally have an hour to do something, and I'm like, oh my god, perfect to, like, have my firstborn kid, raise it, send it off to high school, pay for its college tuition, you know, maybe they'll go to UCLA, worry about the SATs, and, like, here we are. I think I can do all of that in an hour. It's just impossible. That's just how my brain works. I don't understand the essence of time. But you know what I also don't understand? So today has just been kind of mind-boggling, a little bit mind-joggling. I've been a little bit on nerve, like kind of a little bit on edge since I got home from K-Town for like reasons that I feel like I can't explain, especially to the internet where like a lot of things get taken out of context. But you know what, this is my second channel. Like I feel like you guys like this is my very like, you know, intimate channel. I feel like most of you guys get it, okay? We get a little bit of like haters every now and then, but it's kind of a revolving door. They're in and out, but like usually you guys that are in this room with me, you get it. So I'm just gonna bare my soul to you, okay? This is my thought process as it goes. So it is not a cleaned up brain thought. This is like a messy, jumbly. Stephanie has no idea what she's talking about. So I went to California Market, which is the Korean market, and essentially I don't really like, I haven't been wearing my engagement ring, and I think this is straight up karma for it. And he doesn't care, so it's not like he's like, you know, upset that I'm not wearing my engagement ring recently. It's just the fact that, like at home, I'm just constantly doing things with my hands these days. Like I'm either like doing laundry, folding laundry, doing dishes, cooking, trying to cook, you know, like washing makeup brushes. Like my hands are being used so much that it's just like, I can't, like it just, I don't know. These days I've just been taking it off more and not putting it back on. And also I think it has to do with the fact that like I'm not essentially like 1000% hundo P comfortable in downtown LA yet. Like I barely know the area that we live in. Like I haven't gone out and explored all the depths of this area. Like I barely know the Target that I have to go to now. So it's just when I feel a little bit of discomfort, I don't want to like wear like fancy, I mean that's the fanciest thing I own. I don't want to like wear it all the time. I don't know. I'm crazy, okay? And so I haven't been wearing my engagement ring, which I should have worn it today, and this is straight karma. Also, people are gonna probably ask, he doesn't care if I don't wear my ring. It's not like one of those like, oh, I own you, put on this collar type of situation. It's just straight up like, also he's like really annoyed with me because I'm sitting like a Korean ajashi at like a soju bar, like, 아이, 아줌마, 소주 한 잔 주세요. 네. And then 아니 그니까 내가 어제
You're so attractive, babe. Can I see the ring?
Can I take the ring back? I didn't wear my ring to K-Town today, and I get to K-Town, I get to the California market, everything's easy breezy, cover girl. I literally went into the market with the sole purpose of I am going to buy only instant food and some fruit. Now, like who goes into the market thinking that, right? But it's because I'm going to Korea in like a week, and after Korea I have to prep for the house to make sure that my dogs can come back when we're back from Korea, my cousin's visiting when we get back. It's gonna be freaking wild. So the past week or the next week or so, it's gonna be just stupid busy, okay? I need to pack for Korea, I have some events that I gotta go to, and so like, oh my god, she's so booked and busy. Like really, is this just a story to humble brag Stephanie Sue about how busy you are? We get it, you're booked and busy, okay? No, I just like being a lazy hoe, okay? So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get some instant food. I get all of that. I go through the store, I get literally just packaged, you guys saw, packaged frozen soups. And then I decide, let's be time is of the essence. Stephanie Sue has some fresh food she gotta pick up, that she got a mukbang biz, right? And so I'm going through the aisles, I'm trying to see which cashier has the shortest line, and boom, my eyes set on the line. I think it was like number 5, okay? And in the line, there's one male cashier bagger, like the bagger of the grocery store, and then one male customer. And he only has 2 things left on the belt, right? So I get excited. My titties are tickling at this point. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be in and out of this market very soon. And so I roll up to the belt. I throw all of my what? My instant food, my frozen foods onto the belt, and I proceed to take out my phone. Now, pertinent to the story, kind of. I have a little bit of a history of been here for a long time, then you guys know that it's a long story. I have a little bit of history. I'm really paranoid around guys. It's not just because I read true crime and I'm kind of crazy, which is also true, but like, I just get scared around guys that I don't know. And I think a lot of girls do, right? So I'm like, okay, just be on your phone. And usually when someone is on their phone in the grocery store line, you don't really talk to them, right? And I hear something. The minute that I hear this, I kind of knew my day was going downhill. And I don't think anyone is gonna relate to this unless you specifically have worked retail. The piece of squid won't scan. He tries scanning it multiple times. I see this in my peripheral vision. I hear this when the scanner refuses to scan his dried squid, right? But I'm like, you know what? That's not my problem. That's not my dried squid, right? Right? So I'm just on my phone. And then the next one wouldn't scan. And so then the cashier is like, that's so weird. I don't know why it won't scan. And then my ear hears this from the guy who's standing next to me. Then I guess it's free. And I was like, I gotta put everything from the belt back into my cart, push him a little bit with my cart, reverse out of that base, get into the aisle right next to me because I ain't having none of this. And I know that if you guys never worked retail, you're probably like, Stephanie, you're such a biatch. Like, why is that even a thing? Like, why does it matter? Like, get it together, mind your own business, right? But if you've worked retail, those words, the amount of times people, literally at one point, I was selling luxury watches, okay? I was literally selling watches that were like $10,000, and sometimes we would have problems like entering in like the SKU or whatever, and they'd be like, then I guess it's free. And I'm like, sure, Jerry, this $10,000 watch is free because I'm having some technical issues, because that makes total sense, dude, right? And so it's one of those things that just drives you nuts. So the minute I hear that, I'm like, breathe, Stephanie, breathe. This is not your squid. This is not your money. This has nothing to do with you. And this is when the cashier goes, do you remember what aisle it was on? And he goes, yeah, right over there. And he goes, okay, I'm just gonna go quickly check on the price. I'll be right back. And I'm like, now I'm just left with this little, is it free or right? So I'm just still on my phone. And he looks at me and he says these words, and I know it's all going really downhill from here. He goes, so do you do a lot of cooking? And at first I was like, is he being...
He goes, do you do a lot of cooking?
And at first I was like, that's really sarcastic and rude, you know? Because like, obviously I don't. I literally just have frozen food. Is this like a very like sexist thing where you're like, oh my God, girls should be cooking? I'm like looking at him and I was like, oh, maybe he's literally just trying to have small talk. Okay, don't get triggered, Samisu. And so I go, no. And then I go back to my phone, right? Because there's nothing good can come out of this conversation. Like, what good can come out of it? You know, if it would be one thing if he was like, hey, I like your videos. Then I'd be like, Albus, you watch me? Really, boo? You know? But like, you do a lot of cooking. I don't know what can come out of this conversation that could possibly end well for me, right? Go back to scrolling. So he goes, oh, you're from downtown. How did he know? And so I start getting creeped out. I'm like, Jesus, is that you, right? So I'm getting creeped out. And then I realized that I had like this Whole Foods bag. And honestly, they sell this literally everywhere. They sold this in Atlanta. It just like was so shitty that like, it's long story, but like Whole Foods has these little sections where like some of them, the ones that you'll see in LA, they have one that says like downtown LA and like a specific store in downtown LA, but they literally sell it everywhere. And they also have one that says Orange County and the bag is orange. They have like their own series of bags at Whole Foods and you just buy them.
They sell it everywhere?
Yeah, they sell the Orange County one at Beverly Hills for the past like 3 years that we've been living there.
So they will sell LA one in Atlanta?
This is where I'm slowly starting to get more and more and more uncomfortable because you are a strange person. I am engaged. I don't have my engagement ring. I already have a fear of being alone with men that I don't know because of my past history. It's really intense and it gets triggered on certain, like small random things will trigger me. And for some reason, I was already triggered that day, like today. Like I was just kind of like, just really tense, okay? And so he's like, oh, you're from downtown LA. No, I don't want to talk about the location in which I live. That's only going to trigger me more, right? So I go, yeah. And then I go back to my phone and he goes, oh, so you probably go to like FIDM or something, which is a school in downtown LA for like design and stuff. And I go, no, right? Like, no.
Oh, he assumes a lot.
Yeah, and so I just go, no, period. And then I don't say like, no, I'm not in school. No, I actually didn't go to college. Maybe I should have said that, okay? But then I was like, no. And then I go back to my phone, right? Not like a, but like a, you know, and I go back to my phone. Now, I don't know if he took the as, hey, ask me more questions, right? But in his brain he did. So then he goes, oh, so then what school do you go to? And so then I go, oh my God, right? So then I look at him and I go, I'm actually not in school. And then he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. And then he goes, you just look so young. And I was like, oh, thanks, right? And then I'm like, oh, thank you, you know? And I go back to what base? My phone. So then he goes, so how long have you been in downtown, right? And I was like, oh, I actually just recently moved. And then so I'm scrolling again. And so then he's like, so where'd you move from? And I was like, oh, from Beverly Hills. And then he goes, oh, are your parents in Beverly Hills? And I go, no. And then I go back to my phone and he goes, oh, so you just like decided to move from Beverly Hills to downtown. And then I was like, yeah, literally, yeah, right? So all of this is still kind of like, okay, like I thought I was giving you social cues, but sometimes I get it. Like this face looks kind of like an easy girl, okay? Not like, oh, she a little hoe, but like, I think maybe because I was going like, no, instead of doing like, no. You know, it was kind of like, oh, maybe she's just really bad at talking to people, right? So I was like, no. So maybe that's why he kept going. But this is not an area that I wanted to keep going to. So then he goes back to the goddamn bag, okay? This Whole Foods literally has their intersections on the bag. I don't know why they did that, but they did that. Maybe so it's easier for you to find them again, okay? So it's faced up on the intersection point where it literally says, let's say, Bulgogi Street meets Earring Road, right? So he's like, oh, Bulgogi Street and Earring Road, is that the Whole Foods you go to? And I was like, sometimes, right? And then he goes, oh, that's so cool. You know, I actually live right across the street from that Whole Foods. And I go, oh, that's cool, right? And then he goes, do you live like near that Whole Foods? And then this is when I'm like, what did you just say? Right? And I go, kind of. And then he goes, oh, like, do you live on top of the Whole Foods? And I was like,
oh my God, dude.
Because the Whole Foods is underneath that apartment. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I was
is
like,
he crazy? Is this guy out of his mind?
No, but you know what, that's like what the question I had for you. Okay, let me get into it, right? Because maybe it's just like we haven't dated in such a long time, we don't understand. Because sometimes I feel that way. Like sometimes I'm like, maybe it's the fact that like I never talk to guys anymore in like that kind of environment, that I don't even know. Like, what if some guy was just like, hey, nice t-shirt, and I'm like, I am an engaged woman, okay? You know, like, I don't know, right? So then he's like, do you live on top of the Whole Foods? Do you live near that Whole Foods? Like, he kept trying to, like, get me to tell him, like, which apart, because downtown LA, so Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, these areas, usually you rent smaller complexes. So if you're renting somewhere, it's probably like an 8 or a duplex or a quadruplex or whatever, right? So it's like, you can't even tell them, oh, I live in that building, right? But downtown is like very distinct in the fact that like it's like people know like the top 10 buildings of downtown because those are like where everybody lives, you know? And so it's kind of like he was just kind of like scope out. It's like he was trying to ask me which building I live in pretty much.
That's so fucking bizarre.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, do you like live in one of the lofts? Like he literally asked me that because near that Whole Foods there are multiple lofts, and I know this because they're very loft style. Like that's how they sell them. Like it's a loft. It's not a high rise, it's not a condo, it's a loft, you know? And I was like, no, I don't live in a loft. And he goes, oh, so like one of the taller buildings. And I was like, yeah, kind of. Like I just kept saying kind of. And then he asked me, do you like texting? And I said no. He instead of asking for my number.
Creepy.
Don't be mean. What if he watches this?
Like that's creepy.
No, maybe he's just awkward.
Yeah, but your awkwardness is putting other people in a discomfort.
Yeah, but he was like, oh, like, well, if you want to go check out one of the bars, it's really cool. It doesn't even feel like, he was trying to sell me on this idea, right? And I was like, listen, I'm not being sold. And so I told him, well, I'm actually going out of town for like a really long time. And he goes, oh, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to Korea for like a really long time. I think like 3 weeks. That was like the most long, in-depth answer I gave him because I was like, please don't ask me to go to a bar. I don't like stuff like that. And also, if you meet someone at a grocery store, just a tip for you. I don't think he's watching, or just for any guy or girl out there. If you meet someone at a grocery store, maybe don't go balls deep in like a, do you want to get drunk with me next weekend? Maybe be like, hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Because that seems safe. This is where people are either gonna like really agree with what I have to say or really disagree with what I have to say. And I think you just kind of have to like know the entire situation of the day. So all of this is like, okay, all of this is like kind of, but it's like you're literally 100% complete stranger. It's one thing to say, are you from downtown? to, hey, relative to that Whole Foods, which streets
It
do you
sounds
live
like
on?
one of the cases you talked about.
Yeah, like it's just too close to home, and I don't know if this is just how he handles himself, but it just was not okay for me. I was having trigger warnings everywhere, but that's also because I am someone who has the history and the background, and like the things I read online, it's complex, right? So I'm just like, I don't like this at all. And so that was triggering me. On top of that, I just had so many things running through my mind because it was like, this parking lot is really empty in this California market, and now that I've established the fact that he lives in downtown, I know that he's walking to his car probably, right? Because you don't, if you live in K-Town, sure, you could have walked, you could have biked, you could have done this, but if you live in downtown, it's not really bikeable or walkable, right? So I'm like, okay, this guy probably drove here. The last thing I want is for him to be like, hey, which level did you park? You know,
my God.
So I have so many things running in my head. You know, I'm trying to be like, okay, like how do I try to segue? Where should I go next with this big bag of groceries? You know, like should I try to like go to the little bakery right there? Where can I avoid the elevators? Like I'm literally thinking of an escape plan. All the while, at this point, an entire line behind me has formed, and I'm starting to get anxious about that. Like I just don't want people to like. I don't know why in my head I'm also running the fact that like of like what if like I get kidnapped by him, and then like they interview the people at the grocery store and they're like, oh well, she was like giggling, you know, she probably like just left with him because she's like giggling. So then with like the house thing, trying to get the information of where I live, I know what the question is gonna be, and he even asked me this: why didn't you just say you're engaged? Why didn't you just say you have a fiance, right? Well, here's what's also running through my mind. Recently, I had read so many horror stories of girls who will literally be at bars with their girlfriends, not out on the prowl or anything like that, but literally sit, like me and a girl sitting right here, and a guy will come up, try to buy us drinks, we'll say no thank you, right? And then he'll try to hit on the girl, and then she'll be like, oh sorry, I have a boyfriend. And immediately the guys will just get crazy. Like they'll say things like, well, you're not hot shit anyway. Like they'll get kind of aggressive because that immediately is like, that's a rejection and you know it. And then also a lot of people are saying online that a lot of girls are using this as an excuse, which like good for you, biz. I ain't even mad about it, you know? But then because of that, guys are not like believing the girls. Like it's almost like, really? You're gonna throw that line at me? Like they almost think of it as like a line. Not they, I don't want to generalize guys, but a lot of the people like that were posting on this Reddit thread of like girls who gave a nice rejection to guys because they were engaged or married or like whatever the reason, you know? And then I didn't want to get into, like I was just so scared because I don't know the guy. Like I'm like, what if he gets angry about something like this? Like what if he gets triggered? Like the reason that I'm like giving these short answers is because I don't want him to feel rejected. I just want him to feel like, oh, this girl's so boring. She has no personality.
Well, you're just not interested.
Yeah, like, but I don't want him to like feel like the, hey, I know you're hitting on me, but no thanks, you know? Because I feel like then he could have some sort of reaction to that. So I was just hoping to give him a, oh, she's like not interested, or she's so boring. Like she's like, no, yeah, no, who wants to talk to that, right? Like I was trying to give him that more than a, I am not interested in you type of vibe. Because, I mean, recently I've been also reading a lot of stories about guys who get rejected and just like do crazy bad shit things, and I'm like, no thank you,
What's
okay?
that story you shared with me?
Yeah, the smiley one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fresh in my mind. Like when you asked me why I didn't tell him that I was engaged, like I felt dirty. Like I was like, why didn't I? But then I was like, but in that situation, I know that I was too scared. But then like now I almost feel like I had to like give you a crazy reason, like, oh my god, he had a gun to my head, you know? But then obviously he didn't. But like I almost felt like I had to, but like the truth is like I was just scared. I was like so scared. That there was no natural way to be like, oh, you like bars? My boyfriend loves bars, you know? Like it's just weird. Like nothing would have felt natural, and then like I was just so scared. I had so much going on in my mind. And I wouldn't be scared if he just like left it the way that he left it in the beginning. Like, oh, you cook a lot? Oh, do you go to school there? Like downtown? That's cool. That's like normal conversation, you know? But then when it got to the point of like, do you live in a loft near the Whole Foods? You know, I was like, no thank you, sir. I'm being dramatic. Like the more I talk about it, the more I feel like I sound stupid. The whole point of this entire rambling, entire just stupid story of Stephanie just being a hot mess is I just don't know like how I could have done it better next time. Not that I'm assuming that someone's gonna hit on me again, but just like I just don't know, because in that moment, sure, like right now sitting here, I can think of so many ways where I could have naturally worked it into the conversation. There was at one point, I was like, why didn't I do this, right? And it was so early on in the conversation that I didn't feel the need to do this at the time, right? And it was when he asked why I moved to downtown. Then I literally kept thinking to myself, oh my God, you're such an idiot, because I was like, you should have just said, oh, my fiance moved downtown and so I moved in with him, you know, or my fiance lives downtown, or my husband lives downtown, you know? Or like my big buff bodybuilder fiance lives, you know, downtown, and oh my God, you know,
it's black belt, Taekwondo level 10.
Yeah, lives downtown. Oh my God, it's so crazy. I hate living downtown. He has like just a wall of machetes that he just like throws around randomly. It's crazy. I mean, like, yeah, he's a black belt. Have you heard of Jackie Chan? Yeah, I think he like trained him once. It's crazy. Yeah.
Who trained who?
My fiance trained Jackie Chan once. Yeah. But he's young, so I don't know how that works, you know. But like spiritually and
He's
stuff.
a black belt since 3 months old, you know.
Yeah, so it's just been really
He came out of the
crazy.
womb like.
Out the womb.
Out the womb.
Can you just imagine, like you're giving birth and you look down and you're expecting to see a beautiful baby and all you see are just hands? Wait, can I show them your karate move? Where did you get that? This is my fiance. This is him trying to do karate. Ready? So you know how most people would be like, oh, all right. He goes. Why do you do it like that?
To intimidate people.
You know, I think it'll work because people will be like, oh my God, this guy's lost his marbles. Stay away from it. Today's comment of the day goes to Golnas Smosh or Golnas Mosh. It's Gulnas Mosh. Damn, Biz, you have a really cute background and or profile picture, not background, Biz. Get it together, Stephanie. And it says, oh my God, I have the greatest idea ever. 1, Steph fiance teaches you Mandarin and you teach him Korean. 2, try recreating K-pop dances. Like or reply, say. Love how like Stephanie in her head here is, please don't see me when she chose to sit in a drunk. Sorry, I was doing laundry and I was so late for the mukbang. Oh my God, if you guys are interested in videos like that, please let me know. I'm always interested in like trying to incorporate more like Chinese and Korean things into my life, because I just feel like it's a little bit weird, like because everybody always asks me, do you have weird differences in your relationship because he's so Chinese and you're Korean and like you were raised differently? And I feel like I don't notice them on a day-to-day basis because we live away from our parents. We live here in like LA, which is just like a hodgepodge of so many different cultures. But you know, sometimes I think it's really interesting to see like all of the differences that come about, and definitely Mandarin kicks my ass. So let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in that. And that's gonna be it for today's video, because the next vlog is probably gonna be starting in like literally 6 hours and I have a lot of editing to do. And tomorrow I am going to a headquarters of some like, I'm like literally going to like a place that I just don't belong. Like I don't know why I got invited to this. I don't belong there, but like I'm going there and it's gonna be so cool. I'm like really hyped. It's like an 1.5-hour drive. I'm gonna be road tripping with a friend of mine, and so stay tuned for tomorrow. I love you guys so much. That's gonna be it for today's vlog. I'll see you guys tomorrow.